What's up internet, it's Dan here from Cry Noir. How are we all doing today? Just continuing on this devlog series, just documenting my game making adventure. So in the last episode, I'd just done the Sean Spalding tutorial to make the version of Asteroids, which I think went really well. I really enjoyed using GameMaker. I honestly think it's a very good engine. Even just from doing that one tutorial, I particularly like the fact that everything you did was all within one engine. Do you know what I mean? You can import assets, and that's what what you do an awful lot of the time. But as far as that was all that is just sprites and sounds. All the coding is done within engine. Whereas when you're using Unreal, and I'm not entirely sure about some of the others, but certainly I know within Unreal you need Visual Studio as well to do all of the C++ coding. It's actually done outside of the engine and then imported in. Whereas this, every single thing was within the engine, so you pick an object, you do your code for that object, you create a script, it's up there, it's all ready to go, and you can edit them and cross-reference them within the same engine. I really like that. So the next step was just to find another tutorial. So hitting on YouTube, again started looking for GameMaker tutorials, and that's where I found this guy.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is Benjamin.
Okay, so this is Benjamin. Lovely Benjamin Anderson, also known as Heartbeat Studios. Now, this guy is a really smart cookie. There isn't much about GameMaker Studio he doesn't know. I mean, he does tutorials all over YouTube. He's done a couple of Udemy courses on GameMaker Studio, and also he's written a book about GameMaker Studio. He's done a couple of tutorials on pixel art and animation as well. He's also had a game greenlit, or greenlighted, or greenlit. We'll go with greenlit on Steam, called Grain Wars, which looks absolutely awesome. I mean, the guy, he really knows what he's doing. And there's no way I would have got anywhere near as far through GameMaker as I have done without his tutorials. So yeah, this was one of the tutorials of his. This was like the first tutorial I did of his, and this is what starts out to be a very basic RPG in the style of Zelda for the sort of NES and the SNES, and then just quickly spirals out of all proportions and starts getting much more complicated. As you'll see as the videos go on. Okay, so yeah, this is a real good one. As always, there'll be a link in the description below, so you can go to the tutorial. There'll also be a link to his website, so you can go onto his Udemy courses and maybe have a look at them, or if you're interested, get his book as well. I highly recommend it. If you've got any interest in GameMaker Studio whatsoever, this is the guy to come to. First of all, you need some sprites, so you can see the results of the code you're writing. We started with a blue square for the player and a yellow square for the walls, linked them to some objects and started coding. A quick line of code to stop the squares from spinning endlessly, and we're off to the races. 8 lines of code later, and we have the keys programmed in to move the player sprite. I then designed a room for the squares to move around, added some collision, and there you have it. I'd already written more code in GML than I'd ever done in Unreal, and more of it had sunk in than when I'd been trying to learn just C++. I think once you're actually using the code to do something, rather than just learning abstract theories, it's more likely to stay with you. Once the basics for movement were in, we just needed to make it look a little bit better. Benjamin had a link to some assets he'd designed for the player character, which was this cool little guy that looked a little bit like Link. We'll call him Lunk. He had a few frames of animation to move in all directions and was really easy to import. I then designed a wall sprite for the sides of the wall and for the top. Nothing special, just something to make it look a little bit better than just yellow squares. I didn't want Lunk walking around all nicely animated in between yellow blocks of nothing. It didn't seem right. Next was to set the animation speed for the sprites and the speed at which you move through the world, and what seemed like an essay's worth of logic to switch between the sprites for each direction. If statements. Glorious if statements. The end result looked amazing to me. Here was this little dude running around, changing direction and bumping into walls, and I knew how it had all come together. After doing the Endless Runner, I knew how to input controls, but still had no idea how to either build a player avatar, let alone animate one. Here, in the space of just a couple of videos, I'd been shown how to do it all, and it looked cool, even if it wasn't perfect. Next up, I learned about using scripts to separate your code out so that they could be called up separately if needed. That way, you could have a script to get the control inputs, and then call a different script for what they needed to do in different situations. I kind of got why, but I figured it would become more important later on. After adding grass to the background and giving Lunk a shadow, it was time to playtest again. And what do you know? It looked so much better. And look, no more clipping through walls. A little more polish next. The camera just hovered over Lunk like it was attached to him with a selfie stick. A few lines of code later and that will be fixed to give the camera a more organic feel. A lot more code later and we had a smoother control scheme allowing for freer diagonals and better yet, gamepad support. That's right, you now have 2 separate control inputs. It checks to see if there's a gamepad attached, and if there isn't one, it just defaults back to the keyboard, like my old Amiga. Only now, it works with a 360 analog controller, rather than jamming a Sega Mega Drive controller in the back of the computer against its will. By this point, I was totally and utterly sold with Game Maker. I'd spent more time running around this little small room with nothing else in it than I did with the Endless Runner, The Office and my Doom clone combined. It just looked and played like a real game. The others had far more functions and features and were significantly more impressive to show off to people, but this little boss-eyed collection of green and beige squares had so much more personality, more charisma and more heart. And best of all, I understood how we'd gone from this blank project to this, almost entirely. My mind was racing with possibilities. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll just try and doing a scripted thing at the end there rather than just off the cuff as I have been doing up until now. So we'll just let me know what you think of that, and don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you on the next episode. Thanks a lot. Bye.